I just wanted to show a close-up of the bag. The bag is used for keeping your veggies in, and you can hang it up. I made this one for my father. And I show how you can hang these fabric printed things that you can put your own pictures on and your own sayings, whatever you want to say on them. This is what the bag looks like with nothing in it. It has a beautiful diamond pattern. For this project, you're going to need your J or 6mm crochet hook, as well as a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. The yarn that I used is I Love This Cotton. It has a free pattern included. Here's some information on the yarn. The color is Aqua Ombre. You're going to need 1 skein of yarn for the border and the straps. This part is optional, but I really like to use this printer fabric. You can tailor it to whatever design that you want to put on them. I got the Value Pack 10 sheet. This has 8.5 by 11 inch. More information about it. The first thing you're going to do is just get your yarn of choice, and you're going to fold it over on itself to form a loop. Then just take your crochet hook, put it right through the loop, and then hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then you're just going to take your crochet hook and yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. So you just pull on that loose yarn end, and then you can cinch the loop around the hook. And we're going to make a chain. I'm going to just show you the first few, but you're going to end up with a chain of 55. The first thing you're going to do is just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1 chain, 2, 3, 4. Do 1 more with you. 5. Go ahead, finish a chain of 55, and then come back. This is how my work looks after making a chain of 55. Now, you're going to hold that last stitch with your middle finger and thumb, and then you're going to make a chain of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have a chain of 8. Then you're going to make a single crochet in the stitch that you're holding, which is the 9th chain from the hook. So go ahead and go into that stitch, which is the 9th chain from the hook. Bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through both loops for a single crochet. Then you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After you make your chain of 5, you're going to skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to single crochet into the 4th stitch. So go into that 4th stitch, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and this is how my work is looking. You're forming these loops. Then you're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to skip 3 stitches and make a single crochet into the 4th stitch. You're going to repeat that pattern, chain 5, skip 3 stitches, and single crochet into the 4th stitch all the way to the end, and then come back. Now if you're a beginner, I would recommend that you count your loops as we work to make sure that you're following exactly like me. So for mine, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 loops on mine. Okay, so now you should have your last loop completed and you have 2 stitches remaining on the end. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have a chain of 6. You're going to skip this next stitch and make a slip stitch into that last stitch. So take your crochet hook, go into that last stitch. You're going to yarn over and then, yarn over, and you're going to bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to turn your work and you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So go into that next stitch, you're going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Now you can chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've chained 8, and now we're going to work back across. So you're going to, this is your chain 5 loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just made your chain of 8. So you're going to count, this is the first stitch of the chain 5 loop, second and third, which is the middle of the chain 5 loop. You're going to make a single crochet into that stitch. And this is how my end looks so far. Then you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to go to the next chain 5 loop and you're going to go to the center, which is the 1, 2, 3, third stitch in, make a single crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way back across to the end, and then come back and I'll show you what to do again because the ends are a little bit tricky. So I'm going to help you through the first few ends to get you going. So I'm going to do one more with you through the middle. You're going to make a chain of 5. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the third stitch of the next chain 5 loop. And then you're going to repeat this all the way across and then come back. Alright, so now I'm at the end and I just want to count my loops with you. I have the 1 loop on the very end on this side, but I'm going to count only the center loops. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is what my work looks like so far. I just made my last chain 5 loop and made a single crochet in the previous row's chain 5 loop right in the center. And then I have the 1 chain 8 loop on the end. So now you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to take and count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and make a slip stitch into that 5th stitch on the end loop. Then you can go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then turn your work. Now you're going to make a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to go into the center of the chain 5 loop on the next row, just like we've done before. And this is how my work is looking on the end. Then I'm going to make a chain 5 again. Go to the next chain 5 loop, and you're going to go right into that center or the third chain of the chain 5 loop and make a single crochet. And then you're going to repeat this all the way back across to the other side. And then I'm going to help you again on the end, because the only part that's tricky is the end. So I want to make sure that you're following me as I work it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you go to the next chain 5 loop, go into the center or the third stitch of the chain 5 loop and make your single crochet. And you're going to repeat that all the way across to the other side. And when you come back, I'll count the loops with you to make sure that you're still following me. Alright, so I'm going to count my loops again to make sure that everyone's following along. So here you can see I have my end loop. I'm not going to count my end loop over here. I'm going to count here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can see how I'm always having the same number as I'm working across. And again, I just finished my last chain 5 loop, and I made my single crochet into the third stitch or third chain of the previous row's last chain 5 loop. And now I'm at the end loop again. So what you're going to do is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to count on this end loop. You're going to count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to make a slip stitch into that 5th stitch. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and turn your work. Then you can go ahead and make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically what this is a chain of 8, but that first 3 is really a double crochet, and then we're making a chain 5 loop. Then you're going to take and go into the center stitch or the third stitch of the previous row's chain 5 loop and make your single crochet. And that's basically how you're going to make the whole panel of the bag. Just chain 5 again for the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to go to the third stitch in of the next chain 5 loop and make your single crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way across to the end. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to go to that third stitch of the next chain 5 loop, make your single crochet. Go ahead and repeat this all the way to the end, and when you reach the end, I'm going to show you one last time how to move up to the next row. Alright, so now I'm going to count my loops with you again to make sure that we're both at the same area, and you can see how nicely my work is turning out. So here is my end loop. I'm not going to count this end loop. I'm going to count this one first. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can see how we have the same number each time as we work, which is what we want. And that way you know you're doing it correctly. And this is, again, I'm at the end where I just finished my last chain 5 loop and made a single crochet into the third stitch of the previous row's chain 5 loop, and I have my end loop, which is a chain of 8. Now what you're going to do is make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to count starting with this stitch right here, which this is your chain 5 loop. So right at the end of the chain 5 loop, this next stitch over, which is the first stitch of your chain 8 loop on the end, this will count as your first. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to make a slip stitch into that 5th stitch on that end loop. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you can chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to turn your work. Your work should look like this now. Then you're going to make a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to go into this first chain 5 loop, count over to the center, which is the third, make a single crochet, make your chain of 5, then go into the next chain 5 loop, count over to the third middle stitch, make your single crochet, and then you're just going to keep repeating. And that's how you make your stitches on the end and how you make your center stitches. You just keep doing that until you have the length that you want for your bag. When you come back, I'm going to show you how many rows I completed for my bag. So this is one panel. This is the front panel, and you'll make the back panel the exact same way and then come back. For my bag, I finished 22 rows total. After you finish your last row, then you can finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the edge of your bag. You're going to need 2 panels, a front and a back panel. I used 2 skeins to make the front and the back panel. 2 skeins of yarn. I took the long end that I left for sewing and put it onto my tapestry needle. Then you're going to put your 2 panels together and you're going to sew right along the side. We're also going to reinforce it with a crochet stitch. I'm going to show you how to do that, but to go ahead and add a little bit more security, I'm just going to sew down the side with my loose yarn end. Go ahead and do that for both sides and then come back and I'll show you how to do the crochet edging all around the bag. Now you're going to take and place the top of your bag, the opening that you want for the top of the bag, to the right, and we're going to start making the crochet border along the side. You're going to work along the bottom and then up the other side. So the first thing you're going to do is just take that corner and you're going to join. Make sure you go through both the front and the back panel. Take the color yarn that you want for your border. Make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end for tying a knot and burying your loose yarn end. Then you're going to chain 1 and just turn your work and tie a knot. We're going to bury the loose yarn end as we work, so just keep it to the side. We're going to make a half double crochet border. So the first thing you're going to do is make a chain of 2. 1, 2. That's going to count as your first half double crochet. Then we're going to evenly space half double crochets down the side of your bag. So the first thing you're going to do is just yarn over, go into the space, bring up a loop. You're going behind your loose yarn end. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. You're going to put another half double crochet into the same space. Yarn over, go into the same space behind your loose yarn end, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. You're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go into the next space behind your loose yarn end, make your half double crochet, and then you're going to go into the next space. You're just going to evenly space them all down the side of the bag. And at the same time, I'm going behind my loose yarn end to bury it. And that's how my work is looking so far. I'm just going to show you a few more and then I'll let you finish working your half double crochets down the side of the bag. When you reach the bottom, come back and I'll show you how to turn the corner and work along the bottom of the bag. So I'm going to show you a couple more here. So this is how my work is looking. Just make sure that you have them evenly spaced down the side of the bag and then come back. You can see the beautiful border that it creates on your bag. Now I'm at the bottom of the bag and you want to line up the bottom so that the triangles are lining up with each other. Then I'm going to evenly work around the corner, and if you have loose yarn ends, you can work around your loose yarn ends, and that helps to bury them. Now around the corner, you're going to want to make a couple of half double crochets. I'm going to make 3 half double crochets in the corner, and then I'm going to turn my bag so that I'm working along the bottom of the bag. So I'm going to go into that first space and make my half double crochet. At the same time, I'm going behind my loose yarn end, and I'm going to put 3 half double crochet into that first space along the bottom, and then I'm going to turn my work so that I'm working along the bottom, and then I'm going to make 3 half double crochet into the next space. Make sure that you have them lined up so that you're working in the right triangle. And then also you're going to want to go behind the loose yarn ends. And I'm making 3 half double crochet into each space. This one I accidentally got into the other space, so I'm going to fix that one. So I want to make sure that I'm in the triangle and making 3 half double crochets in the triangle. And then I have my loose yarn ends. I'm going to bury my loose yarn ends as much as I can. Now I'm going to go into the next triangle. Make 3 half double crochet into that space, going behind my loose yarn ends. After I finish that, my loose yarn ends have been buried enough, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those ends. This is how my work looks so far along the bottom. And go ahead, finish making your half double crochets all along the bottom and up the other side, and then come back. This is how my work looks so far. I've crocheted the edge around the side, the bottom, and the other side, and now I'm back at the top. I'm back up the side. Now I have the top and I have the front and the back. So you're going to separate the front and the back, and you're going to start working along the front. The first thing you're going to do is make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to make a double crochet in that first chain 5 loop along the front only. So yarn over, go in that chain 5 loop, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're just going to make 4 more double crochet into that same space. So I finished a total of 5 double crochet in that chain 5 loop. Now you're going to make 5 double crochet into the next chain 5 loop, and you're going to do that all the way across the top and then come back. I'm going to make one more with you. So I'm going to go into the next chain 5 loop and make 5 double crochet. And this is how your work is going to look all across the top of your bag. This is how my work looks so far with the double crochets across the front of the bag. Now we're going to work across the back of the bag. After you finish your last group of 5 along the front of the bag, you're going to make a double crochet into the side of your bag, into that top stitch along the side of the bag. Then you're going to turn your work because we're going to get ready to work along the back of the bag. Now you can go ahead and go into that first chain 5 loop along the back of the bag. And you're going to work it the same way that you did along the front. You're going to make 5 double crochet into each chain 5 loop. Then, when you're finished with the back side as well, then when you reach the beginning, that first chain 3 that you made, go ahead and make a slip stitch into the top stitch. So you're going to go into that top stitch of the first chain 3 that you made along the front panel. And you're going to join the front panel to the back panel with a slip stitch. So you just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops to join the front and the back. Then you're going to finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work so it doesn't come undone. And then you have the front and the back panel top border complete. So now I'm going to show you how to bury the loose yarn ends and then make your handles. To bury any remaining loose yarn ends, just take your tapestry needle and place that, gotta make sure the whole yarn goes through the eye of the tapestry needle. Then you just take and weave that loose yarn end into your work. And I like to go a couple of times, just going through and weaving. Sometimes I'll even go back. And then you can cut your loose yarn end. For the handles, you're going to go ahead and get whatever color yarn that you want for the handles. I'm using my solid blue color, the same one I used for the border. You're going to fold it over on itself to form a loop, and then put your crochet hook right through the loop and hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. And then you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to make a chain of 8. Then you're going to hold that last stitch with your middle finger and your thumb and make a chain of 3 for the next row. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the next row. Now you're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go into that 4th chain from the hook. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. Then you're just going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across. I have 3 stitches left. Last stitch. Then we're going to move up to the next row. So you chain 3, turn your work. Now you're not going to work into that base of that chain 3, you're going to work into the next stitch over and make a double crochet into the next stitch over, and then you're just going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across, and you're going to do that, keep repeating that pattern, chain 3, turn your work, 1 double crochet in every stitch across, until you have the length that you want for your strap. So I have 2 more stitches left. I'm just going to show you how to move up one more time, and then I'm going to let you finish. And when you come back, I'll show you the length that I had for my straps. You're going to need 2 of them. Now I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm going to make a double crochet into the next stitch, and then make 1 double crochet in every stitch back across and keep repeating. I made mine 25 rows long. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew it onto your bag. You're going to need 2 of them. Then just take your strap and line it up into the top corner of your bag. You want 2 rows of double crochet to be lined up on the front of the bag. Then you're just going to take your tapestry needle and you're just going to sew it in place. After you sew the one side of the strap onto the front panel only, make sure that your strap doesn't twist, and then you're going to stretch it over to the other side of the front panel and sew it on the same way on the front part of the panel only, and 2 rows of the double crochet of the strap overlap the front panel and sew it in place. And then you're going to sew the other strap on the back panel the exact same way. This is what mine looks like after I have the straps all sewn on. The 2 straps on the front and the back, and then the opening of the bag. This part is optional, but I really like to use this printer fabric. You can tailor it to whatever design that you want to put on them. I got the value pack 10 sheet. This has 8.5 by 11 inch, more information about it. You use your computer to print up whatever you want onto the fabric that you're going to use to sew on. I used my Crochet Scottish Terrier picture, which is my dad's favorite crochet dog. The back will peel right off of the fabric. And it leaves you with this cotton fabric with your design on the front. Then I just cut around the fabric, made them into little squares that I'm going to use to sew on to my bag. Then I just placed the fabric over my straps and sewed it on with my tapestry needle. I went in and out along the sides and just sewed it in place. This is what one strap looks like after I've sewn on the fabric. And then I have the other side of the strap. Now I'm going to do the opposite side. And this is what the other strap on the back looks like. And I have the same one, number one dad, on the other side too.